Lesson number 77. Number 1, 8 4/10 divided by 1 2/10. The first thing we have to do is do swoop, there it is, to get the decimals out. I'll go one time here and one time here. So now I have 12 into 8 goes into 84 7 times, and 7 times 12 is 84. So my answer is 7. Number 2, 9,205 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 9 is 27. 27,615. Number 3, Craig made some cookies. He used half a cup of sugar and a fourth cup of flour. How many cups of dry ingredients did Craig use? What we have to do is add these fractions. The denominators are different, so I do have to find a common denominator. And my common denominator is going to be 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. This one will stay the same as 1/4. So 2/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. Number 4 says order these numbers from least to greatest. First, I lined up my decimal points, and now I'll be able to see which one is the least and which is the greatest. I see that I have 9, a 10, and a 9. 9 is the smallest, so I go to my 10th place, an 8 and a 6. And I know that 9/6 is the smallest. Then 9 and 8/10, and then finally 10 and 2/10. Number 5 asks, is a baseball plate a regular or an irregular pentagon? This baseball plate is an irregular pentagon because the lengths of the sides and the angles measurements are different. Number 6, choose the story that best fits the expression 2/5 times 15 equals A. When I'm multiplying fractions, I know my key word for multiplication is of. The first question says, A, 15 puppies are in 5 groups. How many sets of 2 are in each group? Or B, 2 out of 5 puppies are wearing leashes. How many of the 15 puppies are wearing leashes? The best answer here is B. Number 7, you had to write the expression add 12 and 60 and then divide by 12. So I put 12 plus 60 in parentheses. Number 8, show you over here, if I can find it. Which letter is located at 3, 3? And we do go over, then up, so that's B at 3, 3. And then they're asking for 5, 4, which is D. Okay. Number 9. Baker Beth separated 13 tubs of frosting equally among 6 cakes. How much frosting does each cake get? Between what 2 whole numbers does your answer lie? Well, I know that Baker Beth has 13 tubs of frosting, and she's separating or dividing them equally among 6 cakes. So I'm going to do this problem. 6 goes into 13 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. Subtract and I get 1 left over. So my answer here is 2 1/6 tubs of frosting. The next part of the question asks between what 2 whole numbers does your answer lie, and the answer is between 2 and 3. Number 10, Think about 5, 6 times 3. Will the product, or the answer, be more than or less than 3? The product will be less than 3 because 5 6 is less than 1. Number 11. The green pickup truck was 5 5/10 meters long. How many centimeters was the truck? Well, we wrote up here, King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. I know I'm going to start at the meters, which is right under this U for units, and I'm going to centimeters, which is 1, 2 letters away to the right. So I'm going to take my decimal point here, move it over 1, 2 places to the right, add my 0, so my answer is 550 centimeters. Number 12. Look at this grid. Does the point at 3, 1 appear within the star or outside of its borders? We start here at the origin, over 3, up 1. That point is outside of its borders. Okay? Number 13. It says find a common denominator and subtract the fractions, and then write your answer in simplest form. 9/10 minus 3/8. I know that both 10 and 8 can go into 40, so I'm going to use 40 as my common denominator. 10 times 4 is 40, so 9 times 4 is 36. 8 times 5 is 40, and 3 times 5 is 15. Now if I subtract those fractions, 36/40 minus 15/40, I get 21/40. Number 14, round this number to the nearest hundredth. I know the 1 is in the hundredths place, so I look at this 2. A 2 is less than 5, so it tells the 1 to stay the same. So everything stays the same. My answer is 234 and 31/100ths. And number 15, write a multiplication equation related to 240 divided by 12 equals D. Well, I know I'm going to use multiplication, and I'm going to use the same numbers in the same variable, and I'll put 12 times D equals 240. Now let's solve for D. 240 divided by 12. 12 goes into 24 2 times. 2 times 12 is 24. 0. Bring down my 0. 12 goes into 0 0 times, and 0 times 12 is 0. So D equals 20. And finally, we'll follow the order of operations in the brackets. The first thing I do is inside the parentheses, 75 minus 43, which is 32. I'm going to bring down my next thing, which is divide by 8. That'll give me 4. Now I'm still working within my brackets, so I'm going to do 4 times 2, which is 8. And finally, now I'm outside of my brackets, and I do 8 times 8, and that is 64.